Welcome, welcome, welcome to the WLF Live. I am excited to be here with you this evening. It's Friday. There is nothing that can happen during the week that a Friday can't cure. It's the day we are celebrating Juneteenth as a federal holiday, and it's a great day to be talking about your business. Who am I? I am Jameece Pinckney. I am the guest host of tonight's show. I am the president and CEO of High Quest Consulting Solutions. Like us, follow us on Instagram at High Quest Consulting and on Facebook at High Quest 2015. I am also the creative director of Logo to Market, where we take, build, brand, and bank so that you can bank on your business. Connect with us again via email here at logo to market at highquestconsulting.com. If you're watching this live, please like and share this live with as many people as you can. We have some incredible nuggets to share with you on this evening. Thank you for tuning in. If you're watching the replay, we appreciate you. Please feel free to put comments in chat and let's just have a great conversation. Before we get started, I am not Colette Coakley. However, I want to thank her for this platform. Colette Coakley is our fearless leader and founder of the Forward Women's Leadership Forum. I thank you, Colette, for your vision to establish this Women's Leadership Forum, where our goal is to help women move their business forward. I want to thank all of our sisters associated, all the women partners that are associated with WLF for your support and encouragement as well. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Guess what, you all? It's time to get right into our conversation. Tonight's conversation, I'm very excited about this segment. I've done a couple of segments already. This is my part 3 of my series, and it's your business. We started out talking about building, branding, and banking on your business. The second session was on who's in your corner, who's in your circle, those people who inspire you and encourage you along to as you grow and build your business. Tonight, we're talking about inspiration. And I have to look it up. What is inspiration? Inspiration is a feeling of enthusiasm you get from someone or something that helps, gives you new creative ideas, gives you that juice. You know, you're in this, you're just kind of down and out and you just need something to give you that lift. Inspiration. Well, in business, whether you are the CEO or just a member of a business, you can be doing great as a CEO of a business. But when the chips are down and things aren't going as planned, your business plan is and objectives have gotten off track because what we call in law school, these red herrings, these anomalies, these unexpected encounters just jump in and just throws you off. You're like, oh my God, what do I do? How do I keep going? I'm not motivated anymore. Well, tonight's session is just about that, how you stay inspired and motivated as you keep moving your business forward. So I am proud to introduce a very good friend of mine, a very, very special guest we have joining us tonight, Ms. Danielle Tapscott, owner of Inspiration Brewing. Danielle is an incredible woman of faith, educator. I have to look at my notes, entrepreneur. I'm just thrilled to have her on our WLF Live tonight. She is an educator. She has spent the last 13 years in education. That's inspiring in and of itself. She is a Hokie, folks. So all of you are Virginia Tech folks out there, she is a Hokie. So give a shout out to Danielle. You can give your shout out to your fellow alum. She has an awesome background in education. And of course, being in education, working with students day in and day out is an inspiration. She's been a counselor. She's been the dean of students. She's currently serving as an assistant principal in Fauquier County. I mean, she's grown up in ministry. Yes, she is a PK kid. Yes, she is. She's a PK. She is the architect, creative, and owner of Inspiration Brewing. Danielle is known for her mugs. Look behind her. You see that beauty. It is not a, what do we call it? It is not a screen. One of those fake screens. This is real. Coffee time. My mug runneth over. She's known. So Danielle, in the spirit of you, I've brought a mug myself.
All right.
This is Girls Just Want to Be CEO. That's what we're talking about. Women becoming CEO. So let our mugs be full as we brew together tonight some words of inspiration. All right. At this time, I want to just turn it over to you. We're going to dive right into the conversation. And I just want to introduce Ms. Danielle Tapscott, owner of Inspiration Brewing. Danielle, tell us a little bit about your background. Who is Danielle Tapscott?
Well, thanks again for having me. I'm excited to be a part of this forum tonight. I really appreciate you having me as a guest. I am, as Ms. Jameece just said, an educator and big in ministry. Just my passion is working with kids, working with students. I'm a lover of people. So I get to do ministry not only at church, but also in the marketplace, which is at the school. So I'm really excited about that. Again, as she said, it's my 13th year in education as an assistant principal, but I oversee the children's church ministry at Faith Christian Church, where my father is the pastor. Yes, I am a PK. Dr. Decker Tapscott is a senior pastor there, and I oversee the children's church ministry. I've been doing that since 2006, and I'm a product of the ministry. My mother was the original children's church director back in the day, and our theme is Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me, and I continue to illuminate that theme with my life, continuing to press forward in any and everything that God puts in my spirit, and even in the workplace, in ministry, but also with Inspiration Brewing. So I'm really excited about this opportunity to share how this all came about and to encourage you in what it is that you're brewing, inspired to do.
Well, I greatly, again, appreciate you being here. And, what's great about you, you have this light that shines. I've watched you in ministry. I am a fan. I am a partner of faith. And, Pastor and First Lady Tapscott are just incredible man and woman of God. And they, of course, they done good when they brought Danielle along. So we're just incredibly blessed to have you here with us tonight. I really want to just ask you this question. When you started out Inspiration Brewing, I thought, wow, that is definitely an inspiration, right? So why don't you tell us a little bit about Inspiration Brewing and what inspired you to turn Inspiration Brewing into a business? How did that come about?
Yeah. So we all know that a lot of times through pain, through suffering, comes our purpose. And that in our suffering, a lot of times, if we humble ourselves, right, it says that in 1 Peter or maybe 2 Peter 5:6, 1 Peter 5:6, read all of Peter. But it says if we submit ourselves and we humble ourselves in the Lord, he will exalt us at the right time. And so I went through some heartbreak back in 2013. And in that time, I really just dived in and drew closer to the Lord and just found myself just constantly in the Word of God. And I was beginning to post every day on my Facebook page, my personal page, just words of encouragement for myself, even though people probably thought it was for them. It was definitely encouraging me and getting me through. And then it just turned into something that people were commenting and looking forward to it every single day. And so I'm like, okay, I just continue to do it and continue to encourage people and continue to understand people's testimonies and stories from what it is that I was sharing, when really it's I'm just sharing my journey and my process and how God and his word is assisting me through it. And so we fast forward, I think it was probably about 2 years ago, maybe 3, a friend of mine reached out and said, have you ever thought about going live? And I was like, really? And I was really nervous about it, but I did. And I remember looking back and it was like, I had like 600 views and I was like, I'm big time. I mean, I know people get like thousands, but 600 was huge to me. And so then from that, I did some more lives. I began to have opportunities to minister and speak. I began to get speaking engagements. So that then turned into, Inspiration Brewing. And that hashtag was something that had been in my spirit, the whole Inspiration Brewing. I even have my mug that says, if you can see it.
I can see it. There it is. Inspiration is brewing.
Is brewing.
Is brewing.
Mother rest her soul, she bought me this mug a few years back when I first said, you know what, I'm going to do something with Inspiration Brewing. So, and then here we are now, and I went ahead and dived in, stepped out on faith with Inspiration Brewing, and it's slowly coming along, but it's a process in this journey, and I'm excited about it. So that's where it is. And a lot of times, again, we go through things, and our pain and suffering is truly bringing something great in us. And it says that for these light and momentary afflictions are working for us or producing in us an eternal glory that far outweighs what we're currently going through. So when we go through things, it's truly something that's brewing within us that's going to produce something great. And that's how Inspiration Brewing came along.
That is incredible. So I heard a couple things in there. One, a lot of people talk about social media and marketing. How would you say, and I'm just throwing this in there because I'm listening to you. How would you say social media what role do you think social media has had in really pushing, your commentary and your thoughts, forward? How has people responded? And you mentioned that, you've been getting people telling you their story, just kind of writing it through the comments and things. But how has social media played a role in you spreading your, words of inspiration and your commentary?
Well, social media has been huge. And I mean, I know it's like old school for people like Facebook, but Facebook is truly where it all started. And I remember talking with a friend when I first started back in 2013. And if I had 30 people that liked it, I was like, okay, that was like my goal. I was like, if I can get 30 likes, I know that I'm touching people. And so going from like 30 to sometimes, in the hundreds of people liking it. But that was the first platform that I used because naturally you're connected to people, and sometimes I'm connected to people that I don't necessarily know, but through somebody else, or you met them at something, and then it just slowly begins to become something. And Facebook truly is what got me going. And I know that many people begin to just want to be friends with me because I was doing my lives on my personal page. And I remember a coworker reaching out and said, could you please make your post public? Because I have friends that I'm trying to tell them this about and they want to see, So I made it public and allowed people to see it. But then that's what moved me to the Inspiration Brewing side of things so that I could separate my personal and my business. But I mean, social media is huge. It definitely is the best platform. And then I moved into Instagram just like 2 years ago, I believe. And so that's been my main platforms. And then also having the opportunities to be able to speak at different engagements, but also, again, they're posted on social media. So
which makes this even great because it's live. We're here on social media. You're reaching however many people we're reaching.
Yep.
And it'll be in the replay, and it's forever etched in the world of social media. So you can always point people in this direction. But social media definitely in business, and especially as a growing entrepreneur, even if you're settled in business, social media should definitely be a part of your marketing plan. So I just wanted to get that plug in there because under my logo to market, that's a part of the branding, right? You're getting out there and you're pushing your brand in social media. So I just had that thought as you were talking about, your 600 to your thousands, and it's going to be in the millions. You're going to be posting that million view, in a minute, right? So I just want to get to the question of the day. The question of the day, and the reason why we're having this show is, how do you stay inspired in business? Right? You have, again, I mentioned earlier, you have these ebbs and flows. When things are going great, it's great, right? You're happy to be the CEO, be the boss.
Yep.
You're flossing and things are going great, but then you have these things that come along that maybe not so much. And then you start feeling discouraged. It's almost, it can happen in anything. You're going to school and the classes get hard, but you got to finish, right? So the question of the day is, how do you stay inspired in business? What keeps you going? And do you have moments where you feel like you just want to give up? And then how do you pick yourself back up and and dust yourself off? Right. You answer, and then I'm going to answer because I have a thought on that myself. All right.
All right, so I would say I wrote down. I said triple F factor, and then there's a bonus to that. But faith, family, and friends are truly the triple F factor that keeps me inspired. Because truly, you have to step out. Number one, a lot of times, most of the time, when you are trying something new, it's a risk, right? So you're stepping out in faith in the first place to even go about what it is that you just are so heavy in your spirit. It's like, oh my gosh, I have to do this, right? There's something that is inside of me that's brewing, that's in me that I just have to pour out. I've got to get this out. So stepping out in faith first and foremost. So it's about your faith, and then having the support system of family and friends is so huge. They encourage you in those moments where you just maybe you count yourself out, you don't feel qualified, you see everybody else, moving along, they growing, they just started their business yesterday, but they already making millions of dollars. Like, how'd this happen? Like, right? So it's important to have that support group that truly does encourage you to keep pushing, that you've got this. And then the outside of faith being truly the number one thing, the biggest thing is when you start whatever it is and it's exposed, and then you have people who reach out to you and tell you how what it is that you're doing has touched them, inspired them, impacted their life, how it's helped them in a situation that they were in. Like, those are the things that truly, that's what it's all about. We are supposed to be, as believers, right? We are supposed to be illuminating Christ. And so with that being said, when the opportunity comes where somebody went through something and because of the message that I gave, they were encouraged, that's huge. That's enough to keep you going, right? It's not about necessarily touching millions of people. Like, if I impact one person, have I not done what it is that I purpose to do? So really, thinking small, I would say, too, is something that is encouraging and something that will keep you inspired in that sense. Don't go so big. Just stay within where you are. The pastor said something about the month of May, about the gift. And he said it's that there's going to be favor in the month of May, but also just continuing because we're beyond May, but favor in this year, in this time. It's the time of favor, and that we don't need to worry about trying to allow ourselves to fit the gift. Let the gift fit you, right? So with that being said, something to encourage you and keep you going and inspire you is the fact that you're going to have moments, right, where there's delays, where there's setbacks, but that's okay because the gift is within you already, one, and you're going to be shaped and molded through the process of that to be used, to be a cup to somebody, right? To be that gift, to be that portion, whatever it is. So you're going to have your setbacks, but
That's all right. So Danielle might be she may be having a little bit of technical difficulties. That's okay. We're going to keep moving forward. So in that case, and I'm just going to just jump in here, I think that in order to stay inspired, you have to be, part of that is being confident in yourself, confident that, no matter what obstacles I have to overcome, what challenges that, I'm faced with, when they come my way, I am just going to, pick myself up. You can cry for about 2 minutes, that's all you get, right? Because this is your baby, this is your business. You've been given this passion, you've been given this inspiration, right? And we just lost Danielle. That's okay. We'll get her back on when she is able to get back on. So, but the inspiration behind, your business, you become that ambassador for your business. You're able to pick yourself up and move yourself forward. So she was getting ready to say one other thought, and that, sometimes, your setback is a setup for a comeback. How incredible is that? Sometimes these setbacks, doesn't mean a denial. A delay doesn't mean a denial. Just because you didn't get a no today doesn't mean you're going to get a yes. You're not going to get a yes tomorrow. So sometimes those setback is a setup for your comeback. And these are just tests. You're in business, you're going to be tested on every level, but it's how you respond, how you push your way through it is where, the success comes in. And so we're just incredibly, just grateful for the opportunity to be able to share some nuggets of inspiration So far, she mentioned, Ms. Danielle, pain to purpose. I'm just going to bring that back up. This is a great inspirational nugget. Taking those times where you're feeling pained, and sometimes the best inspiration comes out of the pain that you're going through, right? Some of the best inspiration. So here we are. Here she is. So we kept it moving. We kept it moving.
You see, talking about a setback. Talking about a setback. Okay, talk about a setup for a comeback. Here we come. Here we come.
There it is. I just plugged that up. Let me put it back up there. Setback is a setup for a comeback.
Yes.
So that small little setback we just had was a setup for Danielle's comeback, which means she's coming back with a little bit more juice to share with everyone. So Danielle, let's move on to another question that I have. Now, I am sure you have a plethora of women and people who you admire, mentors that have helped coach you along the way. Who inspires you? You know, everyone in their life, because I like the last segment that I had, and Colette, she and I, we talked a great deal about who's in your circle. And you just mentioned faith, family, and friends. You know, and I put that here, who's in your circle, because that was my segment last month. Family and friends, those people who can encourage you, who can push you along. But my question to you is who and where who do you find, who do you have on your wall? You remember as a kid, you know, everybody had Janet Jackson, you know, and Sheila E., because she could play the drums. You know, she was a female who could play whoever that was, you know. Who inspires you?
So I would say that as far as like if we want to go large,
and before you say that, you know, for those that are watching, drop that in the chat, in the comments. You know, who inspires you? What inspiration have you gleaned from someone in your life? And it may not be someone who has actively been a part of your life, but it might be someone you admire from afar. Mm-hmm. You know, there's a ton of people out there in the world that we look up to, you know, and glean inspiration from. So drop those nuggets in those comments in the chat. All right, Danielle.
Well, I'm definitely encouraged on like a bigger scheme, I guess, by, you know, women that you see that are ministering the word of God and touching people. When you have like a Joyce Meyer, Christina Kane, Elisa Turkis, I'm probably going to say that incorrectly. But you have these, Priscilla Shire, like you have these women who are just impacting and just ministering. And a lot of times it is them just simply telling their story, right? Which is great. But then locally, like I have awesome people in my life who have stepped out on faith. My hairstylist, it's Rebecca Fernil, the hair spa. She stepped out and stepped into her own business. My sister-in-law, Jessica Tapscott, photography. It started with a camera that she lucked out on, was able to get, and boom, taught herself. I have a girlfriend that just started within this pandemic because she has boys in her family. She wants to be healthy. It's called the Oli ABCs, and it's all about healthy living through Young Living. I have two girlfriends who stepped out on their own, and they're hairstylists, but they created their own boutiques. That's Erica Howard, and she has the Hidden Boutique. She also just stepped out and did the Right Notary. And then Terencia Patterson, she has the beauty salon that she stepped out in. And also she does Beautiful Bling through Paparazzi. And it's just the fact that like they took risk. And that's just people that I could physically touch. They took risk and stepped out. And that's huge to me. They inspire me. They encourage me. And honestly, in those moments, how dare I forget, Shannon McKinstry, she is one of my dearest friends from Virginia Tech, go Hokies. And she stepped out. She's been big into communications and like just social media, that's her thing. And she stepped out, quit her job, and decided to go into social media, being a mentor. And she is a monster. And she truly is one who inspires them, encourages you. And each day, even on her post, she's encouraging you to step out and that you have these moments. She did a segment called basically how to combat the imposters. And that basically is those thoughts that come to challenge us and how we can stay encouraged. And I think that it's important that we realize that even people that we see that seem to be doing it big, they have moments too where they need somebody to whisper in their ear and say, hey,
I can definitely, I can definitely relate to that.
Yeah,
You
you're
know,
awesome. Like you need that, and so those are the things that truly inspire. Like those are people inspire me. But again, as I was saying when I got cut off, that it's so important. Like those people that you're touching, when you have those words come back to you that say, you know, where they're like, you're such an inspiration. You truly are special. Your word truly encouraged me. It's about the people, right? We have to just remember that it's not about us. And if we can let that be what inspires you, that it's truly not about you, it's about the gift in you that's poured out, that's touching other people, and just stay encouraged in that. And look at your resources. Don't hate on the people that you see doing great. Tap into them, tap into your network and say, hey, I'm struggling today. Let them share their story with you. And you find out like, wow, as much as it looks like they're always on the move and they always are doing it big, they have moments too where it's like, man, am I really doing this? Like, you know, should I have stepped out? You know, it could be that your numbers are down, financially you're down, whatever it is, you didn't get as many likes this time or whatever. They have those moments too. So I think it's important that, you know, having a forum, right, or a discussion with people to even just be transparent about the struggles of staying inspired and finding out that, hey, this is some things that they do to stay inspired and encouraged in their moments too, because I think that we forget that everybody has those delays, those setbacks, and those moments of discouragement, those moments of where they disqualify themselves.
and I think that's real talk. I mean, you know, being transparent, I think, is a key. And when you're being a mentor, you know, one of the things we talked about in my last segment was the transparency. You know, people want to know that you go through struggle as well, because you have to be able to tell them how did you overcome this particular situation. And while our journeys may be different, and I think you and I have talked about this journey, you start with the J and you end with the Y, and all those letters in between we're trying to get to. Up there it is.
There's joy in the journey.
There's joy in the journey. We have to make that joy, find the joy in that journey despite what it looks like. But I think the transparency in relationship, you know, transparency with people who you look up to.
Yeah.
Right. And them being able to take their guard down and be vulnerable enough, right, to share some real talk with you, because that's going to help push you forward. If we portray this, you know, have this aura that, oh, everything is great all the time, and, you know, nothing happens to me, nothing can go wrong in my life, you know, and not be vulnerable enough to kind of share some of those tidbits, you know, I don't know how successful you really can be. And certainly the mentoring of someone else. Yeah. So, you know, as we bring a wrap to this segment, we're on the wind down side. What would you say are three or four inspirational nuggets that you can share with the business owners out here, the entrepreneurs out here, the people who are thinking about going into business? You know, you're already, whether you're in business or not, you're just listening and tuning in, you know, just because of the word inspiration, you're gleaning, you know, from this, you know, from the discussion and the conversation. You know, what are three or four things that you want to leave with the audience? And again, audience, you're out there, drop the chat, drop comments in the chat. We would love to hear from you. Danielle, what would you say?
I think that, and you hit on one, I think authenticity is huge. Don't try to be your own brand. That's going to be like, that's a huge thing. Be your own brand. Don't try to be somebody else. Be your own brand. We already see enough fakeness on Facebook and so, right? Be your own brand and be true to who you are. And I think it's important to tell your story, no matter what you think, how, you know, bad it could be, what you went through. It is truly going to encourage someone else. Our stories are truly our testimonies. So again, I think authenticity, being your own brand is a huge thing. And then know that you are going to have setbacks. Know that there are going to be hurdles. Know that there are going to be challenges, but that you are able to conquer those things. If you have an awesome network of people, tap into that, as I said, and get that encouragement that you need. There's someone who has been where you've already been, or where you are, excuse me. There's somebody that's been where you are, and get that from them. Like, hello, that's why we have parents who try to tell us not to do certain things, because they've had those experiences and we don't want to listen. They've been where we are. And so glean from that. And then also know that it is truly a process. As the mug said, there is joy in the journey, right? There's joy in the journey. So enjoy that process. It's going to take time for you to get from the J-O to that Y, but enjoy that. And then I love this mug, courage over comfort. Know that it's going to be uncomfortable. You're going to have those moments where it's rocky and it's challenging. And you just have to encourage yourself at times, right? Encourage yourself and just say, you know what? This is something that's in me. I'm going to go for it. Take the risk. And I'm ministering to my own self right now, because let me just tell you that 2021, my whole theme on my vision board is all about inspiration brewing. I haven't got my mugs done yet. I haven't got my journal out, my book. But guess what? I'm on my way. I started just basically with making sure that I had my logo. So that's what I have here, which you can see on my shirt, Inspiration Brewing, Romans 15:13. The Passion Translation is my scripture. So I'm hoping to get more shirts out. And that's my goal for myself. And it is a process, because my setbacks have been me. You know what? Let me say this for maybe the final nugget. I don't know. They keep coming, but get out of your own way. Move yourself out the way. Get out of your own way, right? I think that's so important, because if we find ourselves in a place of, getting in the way, like that stops us. A lot of times we are our worst critic, right? So make sure you're pushing yourself forward. And of course, I already had some of the difficulties. Now my battery's saying that it's low. I'm going to run and go get my battery.
That's okay. No, I just want to do a recap. So some nuggets for everyone out there in TV land and social media land. Danielle has just brought some great nuggets on inspiration. As you're in your business, trying to move your business forward in those periods of delay, denial, or being just down, find ways to be authentic and tell your story. The authenticity is her first nugget. Number 2, be your own brand. It's nothing like continuing to just shower yourself and relish yourself in who you are and the brand you're trying to market, right? Social media is a great way to get yourself out there and market. Number 3, it's a process. So enjoy the journey. You're going to have setbacks. You're going to have, those periods of pain, right? But you were given purpose. And your purpose is your business, and you want to do everything you can to move that business forward. And how do we do that? By getting out of your own way. Don't let those obstacles and challenges, and I know there's a scripture in Mark 11:22-24 that I live by. You got to tell those mountains to get out of the way. Now, this is the part that it didn't include. You got to tell yourself to get out of the way, because you can be your own mountain, right? Then you got to believe it in your heart, and when you pray, it shall be. So I just want to just say, hey, take these 4 nuggets, put them in a bank, because they're going to help you build your business.
And can I say one more thing, Ms. Denise?
Sure.
I thought about this as I'm running up the steps to go grab this cord. You know what? The more hurdles in your way, the more hurdles that there are for you, that's how you know that what is in you, I'm telling you, it's huge and it's going to impact so many people. And that's why you have to keep going. Don't be discouraged by all the hurdles, all the challenges, because let me just say that when we first popped on at like 5:30, all of a sudden, my Wi-Fi starts acting up. I'm on with Comcast, down to the last second of this getting started. Then I hop on. In the midst of it, it goes off, right? And I was like, you know what? I know that there is something that needs to come out, because there's a hurdle and things are trying to stop me from moving forward. So when you have a lot of things coming at you that are trying to force you back, that's because there is something in you that everyone must need that could change the world. You are a game changer. So I'm telling you, forget about those hurdles. Jump over every last one. I was a state champion hurdler, but back in 2000, and I jumped over every hurdle to get to the finish line. So I'm encouraging you today to jump over every hurdle to get to the finish line, just like I had to run up the steps and get that plug. I had to pop back on. I went out, had to even move my whole setup. But you know what? Here I am, and I'm doing this forum, continuing on so that we can change the world, inspiring and encouraging and empowering others.
I just want to add one thing to that. The more hurdles in your way, the greater is your destiny. There's another saying that will parallel great with that. The depth of your situation, whatever that is, wherever it's taking you, the depth of your situation is only an indication of the height of your future. So you got to know that going through all these things, these challenges, these obstacles, to get out of your own way is only an indication of how great your destiny is going to be.
Yes.
So, Danielle, thank you so much. I have one last question for you.
Okay.
What's next for Danielle and Inspiration Brewing? What's next for you? And tell us what's next.
So I'm excited. My next steps, and this is actually just a quick little testimony. I had called Miss Jameece. I was in a slump, talking about tapping into your network, into your family and your friends, and your faith. But I was in a slump, and this was probably, I think, like a week ago, maybe. And I went over and just a wreck. And she had asked me, to do this. And I said, I'm not ready. I'm not going to be ready to do it. Like, let me wait till I get some things in order or whatever. So we talked and she encouraged me. And when I left, she said, and you will be doing the forum on this date. I said, all right, I'm going to be ready. And I just say that to say that, hey, you know what? I had a moment of a slump and I'm in the journey. And so for me, that's what I needed to kind of kick me in. This forum is what I needed to try to kick me and move me forward, and push me on. So for me, next is making sure that I do get my mugs out, because that's something huge. I am when I post, it's all about my mugs with Inspiration Brewing. That's what it's tied to. So I want to get my Inspiration Brewing mugs out. I want to get my journal done. I want to get my book out, and just want to move forward with what it is that I know that's in me to pour out. So be looking forward to that. I pray with me and say in agreement with me that I will have a devotional out for you for 2022, that you will have a yearly devotional that is Inspiration Brewing, and you'll have a nugget every single day for the year that you can journal about, or just to encourage you, and have it in your hands while you sip on your Inspiration Brewing mug. So that's what's in store for me. I look forward to more engagements in times of ministry. I love those opportunities too. So I'm just looking forward to my cup overflowing in the months, in days and months to come.
Well, thank you, Danielle, for being with us tonight. My cup is runneth over with inspirational nuggets. I am very, very glad that you were able to come on and just share some thoughts, out there in TV land, social media land. We hope that you were able to glean a few things that will help encourage you and move you along. As we put a wrap to the show, I just want to share that we are having our summer with WLF. It's time to reconnect with the Women's Leadership Forum. Get a jump start on your business planning, walk away unstuck and equipped with an action plan to move forward to the next stage of your business during our WLF Founders Tea with our founder, Colette Coakley, and Business Boot Camp. Is the first ever. You don't want to miss it. Register today. It is July 10th. Registration is required. You can go to WLF and get all of the details. And then finally, don't miss every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, every day of the week, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday of each month at 6 p.m., you will find another incredible sister telling and sharing and encouraging and inspiring you on Facebook Live and YouTube for the Women's Leadership Forum. Again, we want to thank our founder, Colette Coakley of the Women's Leadership Forum, for this platform. We hope that you were blessed on this evening. We are getting out of here. We're putting a wrap on it, and Danielle can have the last word. As you walk and see, it's brewing. All the inspiration is brewing inside of her. They put the two of us together. I think right now I'm the decaffeinated and she's the caffeinated. So let me let you get the last word.
Yeah, I wanted to say that also one of my goals is a website, because I don't have that up and running yet, but I am in the works. I will be also working with, and shout out, I'm so sorry, Miss Jameece Pinckney with High Quest Consulting, doing my brand to market, getting that up and going. So I'm super excited about that. But in the meantime, you definitely can check me out on Facebook or Instagram at Inspiration Brewing. I do a daily post of encouragement. I do reels sometimes. I go live at times. So you can definitely check me out. And I pray, as I always say, that you would be encouraged and that you would let God percolate your cup.
I'm Jameece Pinckney. We're closing out. It's your business. We want to talk about it. We'll see you here next month, third Fridays. God bless.